In a highly anticipated gathering that has already sent ripples across South Africa's political landscape, African National Congress (ANC) President Cyril Ramaphosa addressed a special National Executive Committee (NEC) meeting this past weekend, laying out what he called a renewed vision for both the party and the country. The meeting, which drew senior party officials, provincial leaders, and veteran members, was billed as a turning point for the ANC as it grapples with declining public trust, allegations of corruption, and looming national elections that many analysts believe could be the most hotly contested since 1994. Ramaphosa opened his remarks by acknowledging the ANC's turbulent internal climate and the mounting criticism from South Africans who feel the governing party has lost its way. We must confront the reality that our people's patience is wearing thin. They demand accountability, service delivery, and ethical leadership. We cannot pretend otherwise, he said, his tone both firm and reflective. The statement drew murmurs of agreement from some NEC members while others, visibly uneasy, shifted in their seats. At the heart of his speech was a renewed focus on three core priorities: economic recovery, social justice, and party renewal. On the economy, Ramaphosa emphasized the need to drive large-scale investment in infrastructure, energy, and digital technology while tackling youth unemployment head-on. The future of our nation depends on whether we can create sustainable jobs for the millions of young South Africans who feel excluded. If we do not act with urgency, we risk a lost generation, he warned. Turning to social justice, Ramaphosa pledged that the ANC would intensify efforts to address inequality in education, healthcare, and housing. He stressed that the ANC's founding principles of upliftment and transformation remain central to its identity. Ours has always been a struggle for dignity, for equal opportunity, and for justice. We must recenter our mission on improving the daily lives of the poorest and most vulnerable, he declared. However, it was his third-point party renewal that drew the most attention. Ramaphosa admitted that factionalism, corruption, and complacency had deeply eroded the ANC's credibility. In unusually candid language, he called for a cultural reset within the movement. We cannot continue to defend the indefensible. Those who abuse public resources, those who see leadership as a means of personal enrichment, must know their days are numbered. Renewal means discipline, accountability, and sacrifice, he said to resounding applause from sections of the NEC. Observers noted that Ramaphosa seemed to be taking a veiled swipe at certain high-profile figures within the party who are facing investigations or implicated in state capture. While he did not name anyone directly, the undertone was clear: the era of unchecked corruption must end if the ANC hopes to survive as a dominant political force. Interestingly, Ramaphosa also used the platform to speak about unity, cautioning against the growing divides within the organization. Our strength lies in our ability to stand together even when we disagree. If we fracture, if we allow factions to determine our direction, then history will not forgive us, he said. His message was directed at both his allies and rivals, many of whom have been at odds over issues ranging from succession battles to coalition politics. One of the key announcements from the meeting was the establishment of a new NEC task team on service delivery, which will monitor and evaluate the performance of ANC-led municipalities. According to Ramaphosa, this body will ensure that communities receive the basic services they are promised and that underperforming officials are held to account. We cannot expect citizens to vote for us while they sit in the dark without electricity, while taps run dry, or while roads crumble. Renewal must start where our people live, he said. The president's closing remarks struck a balance between optimism and urgency. The ANC has been entrusted with leadership for 3 decades, and while we have achieved much, we have also faltered. The road ahead requires honesty, discipline, and a collective commitment to a vision larger than ourselves. If we succeed, South Africa succeeds. If we fail, then the people will decide our fate. Political analysts who followed the meeting have described Ramaphosa's address as one of his most direct and uncompromising to date. Some argue it was a bold attempt to reassert control over a party teetering on the edge of fragmentation, while others view it as a last-ditch effort to salvage his legacy ahead of the 2026 elections. What remains clear is that the ANC's future, and Ramaphosa's role in shaping it, will depend not on speeches, but on whether the party can turn words into action. For many ordinary South Africans, patience has long run out. Now, the question is whether the ANC can deliver on the vision its president laid out, or whether this was yet another promise destined to fade into political rhetoric.